Okay, Tiernan, we're coming to the end of 2020. It's been a strange year, but a very enjoyable year in many ways. How would you sum it up as manager of Larne Football Club over the last 12 months?
Yeah, exactly what you just said there. It's been a bit strange. And I know that a lot of people, when you talk to them in the general public or your families or your friends, they're saying, oh, I can't wait this year to finish. I don't actually feel like that. It's been a great year for us as a club and as a team, and albeit we've had, like everybody else, we've had our obstacles with minimal crowds and no crowds, but from a football perspective, I think it's been superb.
Yeah, I was having a little look before we began talking together, and I think I'm right in saying we've played 25 competitive matches this year, and we've only lost 2 of them. I'm sure Marshall Gillespie will correct me if I'm wrong, but if that is right, that's some stat, and it proves just how good of a year it's been, and how much maybe improvement there has been in 2020.
Yeah, but again, and I'm not banning all that. That's what happens now. It's not what's happened in the past. And yes, I don't think anybody should take away the work that those boys have done, and they deserve every accolade that comes their way. But I think we'll be judged on what comes in the next 6 months rather than what's happened in the last 12. And we need to be very focused on that, and we need to make sure that we're looking forward and not looking backwards.
Yeah, I'm part of that run, and that impressive statistic is that we've been so good at home. We've been unbeaten at Inver Park in the league and in the entire year, even though maybe there've been a few less matches than there would have been. So that must build into the confidence and the mindset of players, especially when we step out at Inver Park.
Well, I think for every manager and every club and every team, you always try and set your stall out that if you can do well at home, that'll give you a little bit of a platform to kick on. And thankfully, that has happened for us. We enjoy playing in front of our home fans. We enjoy playing on our home pitch. And it allows us to play the football that we want to play. So long may it continue.
And the 2 transfer windows that there were in the year, we seem to recruit really well. And you've talked earlier about targeting specific people and players. Do you feel that's really borne a lot of fruit over the last year in terms of how well we have done, and maybe hopefully how well it sets us up going into 2021?
Well, I think all our recruitment has to be very strategic, and I think probably a bigger aspect of bringing in good players is bringing in good people. And we work extremely hard at our football club, as you well know, from top to bottom, not just from the playing perspective, but from top to bottom on surrounding ourselves and with people that are buying into our culture and buying into our journey and where we want to go. And obviously the whole community aspect of what we do and getting the town behind us and our fans behind us. And that's probably an element that can be a wee bit more difficult. Because there is people that talk about Larne and have this impression that it's about money, and they couldn't be further from the truth. And I think the big thing in that is making sure, as I say, that our recruitment and the recruitment of the right person as well as the right player is key.
And full-time football, we launched into that, sort of the fully full-time aspect of it ahead of the Premiership season in 2020. You feel has been a year where we've really seen the benefit of that, where it's started to reap rewards of just what it can provide and what it can give us.
Well, again, thankfully I don't have to share my stats with the type of numbers that our boys do on a not only a daily basis but on a weekly basis when they get into games. And I think there's no doubt that full-time football, and if they didn't have the benefit of full-time football, they certainly wouldn't be able to hit the numbers that they're hitting. But again, it's more than just full-time football. I think if you look at how these boys train on a daily basis and the commitment and the effort and the drive and determination that they put into their work, that has probably made our transition a little bit easier.
Yeah. We go back to the start of the year. We had those wins against Linfield and Glentoran in the space of a couple of days, moved towards the end of the year where we seem to knock down one record after the other in terms of teams we hadn't beaten for a while. You have any personal highlights, maybe outside of the County Antrim Shield final? We'll come to that in a minute.
Well, yeah, I think you're probably you're right in that week in February, I think it was, that, or was it late January, where with the Linfield and torn back to back, and we had been talking a lot in the changing room about finding that belief that we play great football, but getting games over the line, and really believing that we can go in and get a seat at the top table and mix with the bigger boys. And I think that week probably helped tip the cap a little bit, that maybe we are good enough, and maybe we can compete with these boys, and we really don't have a huge amount of fear that we're as good as anything out there. And hopefully we can continue to show that.
Yeah. I suppose as well as the highs and the enjoyable moments, there was, COVID and the uncertainty and just a long stretch that brought without football. As you reflect on that as a manager, how did you deal with that? How did you find that situation?
But believe it or not, Ian, in a very strange way, I think it was a great test of character for our players. And I think when you look back at people being put into lockdown for 12 weeks or 16 weeks or whatever amount of time it was, when you watched it again, and I know I keep heaping this praise on these players, but the amount of work that those boys done during lockdown on their own, head down, backside up, which we talk about a lot, I think that kind of give them the platform to what they're doing right now.
Yeah. And we'll finish with a high, obviously, County Antrim Shield in the bag as of December. As a manager, how did you find that period? Because obviously you have league games coming up before, league games coming up after. Did you have any chance to reflect on it, or have you had a chance to sort of reflect on the significance of that?
Again, things like that, mean more to the fans, and that's what it's about for me. It's not about personal accolades, or it's not about the team accolades. There was a lot of hype about it for the first trophy in so many years, and giving our fans something to cheer about and really get behind us, as they've done from the minute I've walked in the doors of this football club. And it was nice to give them that little bit back. Unfortunately, they couldn't be there to get behind us on the night, and that probably made it a little bit more special that we were able to bring the trophy back to Inver Park. And even watching some of the photographs since, we're going around the different schools or shops or businesses or whatever it may be, it just shows you how much it means to this town and these group of fans. Yeah.
We'll not touch on you winning the Manager of the Month for the first time in Larne's history, twice in a row. But if we look ahead to 2021, what would your hopes or aspirations be for the year that's ahead?
Again, can we just keep doing what we're doing, keep working really, really hard, keep our feet firmly on the ground, and as I just said, put our head down, get our ass up, and there's no substitute for hard work. And we talk to the boys on a daily basis that hard work equals success, and that's in my opinion has what's got them here up to now. And if they keep doing the work that they need, and they keep dedicating themselves the way they are, I think they'll be okay.
Brilliant. Thanks, Tiernan.
Thank you very much, Ian.